Mr. Parrikar, you've been the defense minister for 18 months now, and of course the BJP has been in power for 2 years. When you look back, what are your major achievements in the defense ministry really?
Lot. I think the ministry has started functioning. That is a major achievement.
Yeah.
The defense forces feel more confident that the government will stand by them. The requirement for modernization is slowly but surely getting into the flow, into the pipeline. And transparency has returned. In 2 years, there is not single case of corruption in defense ministry. That itself is a big achievement.
Right. In fact, I get the sense from the industry, especially the Indian industry, that the fear factor which was there in the previous government, where anything to do with defense was very secret, very opaque, is slowly changing, and you are making big efforts on that front.
It will take some more time to make them more transparent and more open. Because somehow the psychology that, in fact, this psychology probably was created mainly to make money.
Okay.
Everything keep it under wraps so that more people can't come in.
Right.
Don't allow more people to participate by somehow. I have seen cases where those who are eligible have been eliminated. Even now I don't claim 100% are being allowed,
Right.
but quite a substantial change has taken place.
Okay.
But rules are being cited on many occasions to ensure that competition gets reduced
Okay.
or single vendor situation arises. These are attempts by some to do that.
Right.
Various lobbies have been very active in various groups,
And one example was the Augusta, the RFI, RFP.
Augusta Westland is an typical case where probably someone decided that इनके साथ धंधा करना है, इनको डबल प्राइस में इनसे हेलीकॉप्टर खरीदना है. Now proceed.
Okay.
This is the direction. Do anything and everything so that only they get the order.
Right.
And they get it at double the price.
Correct. But the new defense procurement procedure that you have brought in, and it started now being implemented from 1st of April, has a lot of new features in the sense of the timelines being reduced. What are the advantages of that?
See, first let me be very clear. Some people don't understand. The new defense procurement procedures do not impact earlier procurement.
Correct.
Therefore, there are 285 AONs still pending.
There's acceptance of necessity.
Down
yes.
from something like 397.
Right.
When I came, there was something like 397 AONs pending.
Sure.
In spite of our clearing a lot of AONs, now the AONs are reduced to 285.
Right.
And by this financial year, I intend to reduce it down to below 200.
Correct.
Now all those AON will proceed with the earlier DPP.
Correct.
Unless forces see that some of the DPP needs to be put into the new DPP.
Correct.
And they will have to come back again to the defense acquisition.
Absolutely.
So the current acquisition procedure, defense procurement procedure, actually will begin after another 6-8 months.
Yes, they will start
But
fructifying
uska jo, the
framework.
canvas and the map is visible now. You
Right.
know what is included in that.
Correct.
You know that IDDM,
Yes.
which is indigenously designed and developed and manufactured,
Correct.
has a top priority.
Absolutely.
So that encourages the industry in designing their own products.
And you are going to encourage the Indian MSMEs, Indian defense industry much more.
Make in India also there is a reservation below 10 crores and 3 crores in 290.
Right. So, and make it.
There are many more factors. Timeline is one. Inclusion of MSMEs. Preamble is very important because it's very clearly said in the at the end of the defense procurement procedure that in case of any confusion, difficulty, the preamble becomes a guideline.
Correct.
That means if there is something which is going wrong,
Right.
then you refer back to preamble, and just like the Supreme Court derives power from Constitution's preamble,
Yes.
you derive power from that preamble and do the right thing.
Absolutely.
That is one of the aspects which has been ensured. There are many more, like category A
Yes.
QRs,
Yes.
category B QRs. That means you may not have a product which is required by you.
Sure.
Market may not have that product.
Correct.
How do you test it?
That's
You
it.
can't.
Yes.
So you test it for the available kiosks,
Mm.
predetermined,
That's
not done after the
No,
RFP.
yes.
And you say
Mm.
that I want these two things more.
Right.
Like for example,
Mm.
a tank
Yes.
you is available which runs at say let us say 60 kilometers per hour,
Correct.
climbing a slope of 15 degrees,
Yeah.
capable of climbing a 15 degree slope. But you want something with 20 degrees
Correct.
and one which is capable of running at a speed of 80 kilometers.
Correct.
But you don't have it in the market. How do you test it?
Correct.
It is possible if the engine is improved.
Mm.
Both things are possible.
Yes.
So you say that you pass this test of 15 degree and 60 kilometers.
Right.
And when you are supplying, you are going to supply me 20 degrees wala and 80 kilometers.
Enhanced parameters.
Enhanced
involved.
parameters.
Yes.
Then parameters which are more than what you require, but they are B is not enough. They are essential parameters,
Essential.
but done subsequently
Right.
after passing and
Correct.
after getting orders.
That's right.
Because you don't spend money to improve the parameter just for trials.
No.
So it will make
Final
it
order has to be
also-
there. Order has
Some
to be
order
there.
indent has to be there.
Right.
So after placing indent, he develops it,
Correct.
gets it in. Enhanced parameter is another concept. You get a financial advantage
Yes.
under enhanced parameters.
Okay.
So that item which has some additionalities which are required
Mm.
but not essential,
Correct.
which are welcome but not essential,
essential.
like gun.
Yes.
If it is 4 kilos, which is the essential,
Right.
and if someone is giving me 3.5 kilos,
Yes.
it's definitely better for the soldier to carry half kilo less.
Absolutely.
So I am ready to pay him 1,000
Extra.
rupees per unit more.
Yes.
So that is also
That is also a new concept. Also, the other thing that you have changed is the constant discussions that go on. You are meeting the industry representatives very often.
There is a-
Strategic partnership.
I am meeting without hesitation.
Correct.
I am very clear about it. Just because I listen to you
Yeah.
does not mean I am going to give you the order
Exactly.
or I agree with you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I am ready to listen to industry's various ideas.
Right.
From there, sometimes something new come up.
New depths.
I also learn a lot.
The other thing I think your big achievement which you have not spoken about is the OROP. After so many
Yes,
years.
of course, after 43 years, what Modi ji had promised, so he kept the promise.
Correct.
And we paid 7,500 crores almost a year.
Right.
Arrears of our 11,000. In fact,
Correct.
I was checking day yesterday, more than 18 lakh pensioners have benefited for almost 3,400 crores
Absolutely.
in the first tranche itself.
Correct. So that is
4 tranches like
four trances that will come. So, but now let's look at the future, because there's one of the things that you had spoken about is to increase the combat effectiveness of the Indian military. And you think
Flap needs to be reduced.
Flap needs to be reduced. Okay.
I think we need to touch the area which Britishers left us.
Okay.
A legacy which is not required today.
Right.
The army has to be lean
Yes.
but fit.
Yes.
So combat soldier,
Mm.
the number will not be touched.
Correct.
Maybe even increase slightly.
Right.
But the ratio today to
Mm.
the all armed forces personnel versus combat is half.
Right.
May not be even 50%.
Correct.
I want to make that ratio 70 to 30. 70 combat, 30% others.
Yes,
Why do you require so many people
Yes.
where things are now available ready-made?
Right. And you can
I
outsource
have not
many of the
gone to a
things.
tailor, for example, I have not gone to a tailor
Right.
for last 25 years.
You buy a
I
ready-made
buy
shirt.
ready-made
Yeah.
shirt.
Absolutely.
So if I have a tailor,
Mm.
I would say that I don't anymore need a tailor.
Tailor. Absolutely.
So don't spend money on tailor.
Exactly. One of those.
Barbers, for example,
barber-
except on the border.
Yeah.
You can have commercial barbers doing the
Yeah.
job.
And so many
I
things can be
read
outsourced.
recently a book in which they are describing in 1875
Right.
battalion of army movie,
Yes.
and it describes who are there in
Yeah.
that battalion.
Correct.
I was surprised to know that the actual fighting soldiers were only 150.
That's right.
Now that figure has increased.
That's
but
gone to
I
400,
about
let's say.
400, 500.
400, yeah.
It needs to increase to 600.
600-700. Yes. Absolutely. No, I agree on that. But that's why you're doing some resizing and you formed a
We
committee.
have appointed
Yeah.
a very senior battle veteran,
Right.
Lieutenant General Shekatkar,
Right.
as chairman of a committee,
Mhm.
which is mostly, except one or two,
Right.
the rest are all Army, Air Force and Navy
Mm.
people.
Right.
We have asked them that to go through all the things
Right.
and come out areas of frame
Mm.
so that in a systematic manner we
Mm.
can trim it.
Right. And that will be done in how many months? Any deadlines?
We expect by July end or August, mid-August, his report to come.
Right.
I have told him he can give me an interim report so that I can start quickly after 30-45 days
Right.
on certain areas of flag.
Correct.
Final report will come by
90 days or so.
about
maybe
August.
Right.
August.
Okay.
So by December we will have a full action plan working.
Correct. You also spoke about the policy for promotions needs to change. I mean, you need to take a lot of qualitative requirements into all
See
this.
what has happened. Anything, any organization, if it is not churned around,
Right.
and if it doesn't is not used for the purpose it is normally required to be used,
Right.
slowly becomes lethargic. Nepotism sets in. It's human nature.
Human nature, yes.
And because we didn't have any major war,
Right.
obviously there are some lethargy and wrong things which might have crept in the various procedures somewhere.
Sure.
Somewhere you feel that ये मेरा regiment का है, somewhere you feel that ये मेरा गांव का है,
Correct.
ये मेरा
जात भाई है.
जात भाई है या मेरा भाषा बोलने वाला है.
Correct.
So this kind of feeling is but obvious.
That's right.
I'm not pointing finger to anyone.
Yes.
The nationalistic spirit, patriotism is 10 times more in army.
Correct.
People who join army, 90% of them, particularly at officer level, almost 100% of them,
Yes.
have that national feeling. Actually, that is what has kept the
Army
Indian
going.
army
Yeah, going.
still fit
Absolutely.
in spite of some black sheep.
That's right.
वो मतलब हमारे पॉलिटिक्स में 90% ब्लैक शिप रहेंगे तो यहाँ 5-10%
ठीक है, हाँ.
लेकिन हर जगह होंगे.
That's right.
समाज में जो बुराइयाँ हैं वो थोड़ी बहुत यहाँ भी रिफ्लेक्ट
बिल्कुल,
होती हैं.
बिल्कुल.
पूरी 100% you
That's
can't
right.
expect
No,
everything to be perfect
No.
everywhere.
So you.
But I think we are, and many of the people from army themselves
Say.
told me that these are the wrongs which are crept in.
Right.
Slowly get it corrected.
Okay.
But I'll get it corrected after examining everything through the eyes of the army soldier only.
Okay. I mean, so it will be advantage
I'm
army
not
soldier.
going to take decision on my own
Right.
unless a soldier, a reputed soldier,
Yes.
double checks and stamps my decision.
That's right. That's very good because that is what your focus is all about.
So if someone feels that Raksha Mantri is going to introduce some private person in selection process,
That's
he is
right.
absolutely wrong. But there is no harm in private person checking whether the procedure has been
Is
followed.
correct or not.
And the procedure does not give opportunity for nepotism.
That's right. And because you have this focus, you have also supported the Armed Forces claims on 7th Pay Commission, which they have some grievances.
We have said that their certain grievances are
Grievances.
absolutely right.
Right.
And particularly in the matter of pay metrics,
Right.
we have suggested some positive.
That's right. So one final question.
Allowances also we strongly support.
Which one?
Demand on allowances.
Allowances. Okay.
Also we strongly support.
Right.
The military pay service has to be slightly
Yes,
improved for the
yes,
Jawans.
the military service pay which is there, you want to improve that.
MSP has to be
Yes.
improved for Jawans. at least.
Correct, because they are the ones who make up the bulk of the forces. One final question, you had spoken about your aim to go into more exports, Indian weapons platforms and others. So in that respect, I mean, two subsets of that question. One, how are you going to enhance it? And two, what are you going to do with the DPSUs, which need to be...
We have already told them 10% of their production can be exported.
Okay,
They did not supply 100% to armed forces.
right,
In fact, I intend to increase that
Hmm.
by increasing their production.
right,
Armed forces will not be starved.
right,
That is sure. Like for example, Akash,
yes,
the production capacity was 200. Today we have increased it to 500.
okay,
2 years henceforth it will be 800.
right,
So we have enough capacity creation.
correct.
Production, you see the output from ordnance factories and OMPs.
Mhm.
It was nearly 43,000 crores when I came in.
Right,
Now it has crossed 51,000 crores.
okay,
The substantial improvement
Mhm.
with reduction in manpower.
right,
Per head production increment is almost 33% in 2 years
Mhm.
per head.
okay,
So there is a 10% reduction in the manpower.
right,
So basically what I am trying to say is that make them more efficient, ask them to export on their own, but at the same time we will have to develop and promote our product
Correct.
and tell the outside world
Yes.
wherever we can sell it, of
Right.
course, that we are trusted supplier.
Correct. So the quality has to be good. So
Quality has to be good and
Yeah.
continuity of supply.
Correct. And that HAL also can similarly do
Of course, I have already written to few countries that LCA is an excellent
Yes, it is a product.
aircraft,
Yeah.
and they can. We are ready to export this
Explore
product.
that. So that way there is a hope for the DPSUs and HAL to go. So Minister, thank you very much for your time and for this interview which you gave to Bharat Shakti. Thank you very much.